right, girls. Guess what time it is? It's time to put the nest box in. My baby chicks have grown up. They're 20 weeks old, which means anywhere between 20 and 24 weeks, they will start laying. So we're so excited about that. Ready to get fresh eggs again. Beautiful flock. Who will be first, huh? Who's gonna be the first layer? All right, lay away, girls. Hi, you guys. Dash here, and the Prophet's with me in the garden. It is gonna be rainy for like the next week. The rain has finally come. The rainy season. So we are gonna sink in our root crops because it seems like it'll be a good time for them to germinate because of the rain. As I told you in my last video, I struggle with getting my root crops to germinate, like my beets and my carrots, and even those cool season crops like spinach that like the cool weather, and sometimes even lettuce, because they all are sown pretty shallow in the earth, and it's hard to keep that top layer moist. And also they really don't germinate until the cool weather sets in. And in Dallas, we just don't have that cool weather. It's kind of summer, 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 a few weeks of cool, and then winter. So it's really hard to get them to germinate in my area. But it's gonna be rainy for the next week or so, and so we're gonna sink in these crops that are hard for us to germinate and see what happens. But we're also going to do an experiment indoors. We're gonna try to get them to germinate in a new way. I read an article I really liked about getting your root crops, especially carrots, to germinate. And so I'm gonna give it a try and take you with me. All right, so in between rainstorms, we're gonna sink in these crops. I'm using a planting grid that I made, and I use this when I garden with kids because it just helps to space them accordingly. What we do is we just make a shallow hole in each one with a stick, and then the Prophet can come behind me and just drop a seed in each of those holes, and then we can take the grid off and cover it up with soil. So that's a little trick to gardening with kids. Makes it a lot of fun. I just made this out of a pizza box, and I made a 4-inch planting grid and a 3-inch and a 6-inch for different spacing of crops. I'm putting down some sticks to separate where our beets were with our spinach crop. So when I come to plant my spinach, I'll know where to start. All right, it's starting to rain, so that's great for me, but not so good for my camera. So I'm gonna take my camera inside and keep planting. Uh-oh. Something ate my kale yesterday. Oh dear. Wonder if there's a bunny in the garden. Look at that. Down to the nub. Almost. I'll have to come out here and keep an eye out for what could be eating my kale. My bok choy nibbled on. All right, I'll have to bang around in the garden today and make sure we don't have a bunny like hiding under the comfrey beast. All right, we'll see. I have to keep an eye out for what is eating these, because if it eats them too much, then they won't take off, and then we won't have any kale, and that's not gonna happen. No, not on my watch. I really, really like kale. I think I might have found my culprit. Right there. That definitely could have been eating on my kale. See if I can catch it. Oh, got it! Yay! The chickens will love this. Remember, you can take small steps in your garden. Just a little bit each day. You don't have to work for hours and hours. Once the bare bones of your garden is set up and you put the compost in for fall, then you can just come out and do those small steps. So my small step this morning is this. This bush is producing some great fall tomatoes now that the cool weather is here. But it's really crowding out my lettuce patch. And over here, I can't plant anything here when I've got fall tomatoes sprawling. So my small step this morning is to get some twine and get this tomato bush under control so I can plant something underneath it. Okay, my string broke halfway through. So, note to self, buy thicker string. The first side I used, it did have a lot thicker, but this is really thin. And then I found a friend, or an enemy. Actually, found an enemy. So I'm gonna go pop this in with the chickens too. I'll be back. Let's try this one more time. All right, that should give my lettuce some breathing room. Speaking of lettuce, I'm gonna plant some more now. Just in seed in my garden because it's gonna be raining the next few days and it'll give it a good chance to germinate and come up. And it's a little bit cooler. We're enjoying this. First, I have to dig up some chives that have gone crazy in my garden bed. Love chives, but I don't want this many of them. I am planting butter crunch lettuce because it's my absolute favorite, and red sales lettuce for a little variety in my salad, and Landy's winter lettuce from Baker's Heirloom Creek seeds. This is supposed to do really well in the winter months when the weather gets cooler. So let's hope for that. All right, and I'm using my planting grid. Uh-oh, look, it's wearing out, you guys. Looks like I'm gonna have to order another pizza, make another planting grid. All right, well, I use this, it just helps with my spacing with my lettuce. I also use it when I plant with kiddos, but no one's out here in the garden with me this morning, which is kind of peaceful. It has its own fun to it. But let's hope it continues to rain like they say it's going to. And I am going to take these chives inside and cut off the dirty ends and dry them in the dehydrator. Jar them up for use during the winter. With scrambled eggs and baked potatoes. Yum. It's so hard in Dallas, Texas to keep that 1 inch, that top inch of soil moist. So let Mother Nature do it for you this week. Get those seeds in. Food, not lawns. Bye from Bloom Where You Planted.